Hey, what's up, everybody? This is yours truly, Taylor Jones, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And it's time for a long awaited episode number 7 from Cold Man's Winter Season 2. But I'm gonna have to be aware of my timing because at this time it's 11:32 p.m. Sunday night, and all condolences and cheer up routines for all the Kansas City Chiefs who just lost to Tom Brady, the NFL GOAT, and the Buccaneers, which included his former Patriot teammates Mr. Gronk and Antonio Brown. Patrick Mahomes, you tried. That's all you can do. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but let's get real. What's the issue that's bugging us for right now? I was thinking about what I can talk about. First thing I think about is a human body. When you think of the body, you're thinking of the song head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. But everybody has a problem with their body. Others have no problem at all because they stay in shape. They look good, they're normal. They don't get body shamed even if they are skinny. Look, at least they lost weight. But others, like a lot of people who were body shamed and being called fat, and they don't even give a dang. They just feeling themselves, and they even have a career. Take a look at the fat boys. Aretha Franklin and dang, who else? Oh man, 8 Ball from 8 Ball and MJG, Fat Joe, Big Pun, the overweight lover Heavy D. They were fat, but they had it going on in the music world. I mean, they didn't care. They just kept on going. They were just having a good time making music, doing what they love. Try to make the fans feel good about themselves. But even individuals who take their weight problems too seriously and do nothing about it, like whenever they plan to come up with an exercise, like for instance, we already know what happened to Big Pun. We already knew what happened to Buffy from the Fat Boys. They had to learn that the hardest way. And by the hardest way, death. Nothing has changed about how we take care of our bodies. We like to eat junk food. We like to drink beer. We like to smoke weed. We like to have what I call the Friday night special. But unfortunately, it's not been the same. I mean, Burger King in Maryland, every weekend, it used to be when I was younger, like in my teenage years, Burger King used to be open on the weekends until 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. But then all of a sudden, due to the pandemic, the beginning of it, the hours changed from 2 p.m. 2 a.m. I keep saying p.m., but it's a.m. 2 a.m. to midnight, but unfortunately, it's been closing at 11. Every other Burger King, like in Jackson, they close at midnight. That don't make no dang sense. A lot of changes. Sonic has been through some changes. It's just like, what can we do? I mean, how are we gonna have a good grub, good munch? But why are we taking our bodies for granted? Not only do does it comes from eating and doing a lot of things to our body when it comes to food. Like sooner or later, we all have to exercise. We all have to jump rope, lift weights, jog, or even walk. If you don't have a car, or if your car has problems, what do? You walk. You might as well ride a bike. I don't know. But that's exactly what people ought to focus on. And another thing, the second thing that causes us to feel ashamed about our bodies is that we have been inking ourselves. In other words, tattoos. Some people consider that too much tattoos can kill you. It's like poison to the skin, and it takes some lasering to remove them. I mean, I've seen a lot of my friends get tattoos, but my body is going to stay pure no matter what. And come to think of it, it's like a lot of people, they don't care anymore. We live in a society where the devil is roaming free, having the time of his life that he never felt before. He always has the time of his life because of us, our decisions that we've made, where it led us to jail, death, exposures to the fact that we're called sellouts. It's not a good look. But when it comes to your body, are you trying to make it pure, or are you trying to make it better, or are you making it worse? There's so many questions that are left unanswered because some of the answers are going to tick off others. But in the society that we're living in, nobody cares. And another thing, the third and most important thing that really makes the body looks bad is body piercings. I mean, for instance, I'm gonna tell you like this. There was once a girl named Josephine. She has been idolizing her favorite artist, a Britney Spears wannabe by the name of Tiffany um, Tiffany Gold. She was considered a pop icon. Started started doing music, and let's just say that she had a record label, had a record contract with, um, let's say that her record contract was with Columbia Records. Tiffany started at the sweet, tender age of 13. Teenage, she just became a teenager, and her first album went triple platinum. And but on but when she but she had a normal singing career, and and Josephine was like the same age as her. Actually, she was actually 9. But after after 5 albums, album 6, Tiffany is fresh out of high school, it, turning 18, and her sixth album, let's just say that her sixth album went completely different. She started looking raunchy. She started rocking tank tops that are so small that her cleavage is near to be shown. And yes, she got she got a tattoo called, on her, on her stomach, that says, um, "Try me." But what made matters worse, she experienced getting her first body piercing. Fresh out of high school. And Tiffany, she had a this is and let me be clear. This is one piercing that I cannot stand, and that refers to the septum. Now, Tiffany Gold just turned 18, and she's about to work on her sixth album. She started looking raunchy, trying to look sexier now that she's getting older, but she got a tattoo, and yet she got a nose ring, and the nose ring that I would call it, I refer to as the balls hanging out your nose, the metal boogers. The metal boogers. Yeah, I couldn't come up with a name, so I made one up the way I see it. And unfortunately, her music started going from smooth singing to copying Britney Spears, and even like to create her fan base. And unfortunately, some of her fans that bumped her music, she actually they actually were unaware. And yet, whenever Tiffany had her nose pierced, Josephine, the person who looked at Tiffany as an idol, a star, she decided to do the same thing. But unfortunately, she was 14. Now, at first, she thought it was a good idea, even though there were consequences. Now, unfortunately, let's just say that Josephine rocked the nose ring for 3 years, and like when the nose ring paired the balls hanging out her nose, the metal boogers. When that nose when she rocked the nose ring, people started to be like, wait, Josephine, what the heck? Because of course she was idolizing. She's trying to mock Tiffany Gold, and unfortunately, let's just say that everybody, her friends, were not pleased with Tiffany Gold's transformation from teenage years to being a young woman and making music and looking raunchy, and that nose ring. And everybody else, they couldn't stand it. So after 3 years, like, let's say some of her school buddies were like, enough is enough. I've had it with this dadgum nose ring. on on your dead gum face, and everybody's let's say that some people started slot shaming, SLOT, like no wait, that's not the right way to put it. Um, let's say this people started looking disturbed, like as in cringing, like, or even making weird faces, like ugh. Even the pictures, like we have some people nowadays that can't stand disturbing body piercings, like the balls hanging out your nose, that the septums, and sometimes, but not only it can not only be just on the septums, on your nose. I mean, it could be on your eyebrows and the cheeks and close to your eyes, like the same piercing that Lil Uzi Vert got. But I mean, there's a lot of body piercings, and everybody's getting involved. And unfortunately for Josephine, who was officially 17 at this time, she was about to be a high school senior, and yet people couldn't stand the piercing on her nose. Like, I think it's getting too old. It's like it's not a good look. But throughout albums six through nine for Tiffany Gold, let's just say that her record sales started declining. I mean, the fans questioning like, what happened to you? Why why are you not doing why are you not singing the same songs like you did when you was a teenager? Why you gotta be so sexy? And like, why you gotta copy Britney Spears? Why you trying to change your style? Are you trying to sell out for some more views, for some more fan base? Something like that. Some so album six, it was like her album. It still did good. Like it went platinum, but album seven, gold. Album eight, gold. Album nine, nowhere. And everybody starting to question her appearance, her body, her her figure. Meanwhile, everybody in Josephine's high school questions her based on her nose ring. And all of a sudden, she had, after being so ashamed and got to a deep depression. One night she had a night. She was in her bed sleeping. I mean, it was after she cried her eyes out, based on what people said, because the the metal boogers piercing, it she realized it was not a good look, but she didn't know that until she had a nightmare. Like she had a crush on this on a regular dude, and he was about to look up, to walk him to her, Joseph, and while she was walking to him, but unfortunately, let's just say that some popular girls with with weave, with some longer weave in her hair, or maybe the cheerleaders of her high school cheerleading squad was they were attracted to Josephine's crush a little bit more, and they took him, snatched him. Sorry, the ugly girls. A girl like you, so an ugly girl like you deserve someone your age, someone, yeah. And the other cheerleaders, they just point, they just like, or joke, sorry. You so ugly. UGLY. You ain't got no alibis. You ugly. Yeah, you ugly. And one of them pointed. I think Mr. Right is over there. But instead, let's just say Mr. Right was a chubby gamer. I mean, a guy or who has some weird weird has a weird attitude. And of course, when let's say that he approached her to get a kiss. Hey, how about a kiss? And but at the same time, Josephine was tossing and turning and said, like, let's just say that some commercials or movies or TV shows had some scenes where people would be acting like, ew. The scrubbing bubbles from the toilet cleaning gel, S.E. Johnson, the family company. Ew. Dave Chappelle like, heck no. Ugh. I mean, eh. And of course, the word ugly and negative comments like, yo, you need to take that off your nose because you are not that pretty. Man, that body piercing makes you look gross. You are not a rebel. You are not Tiffany Gold. And then all of a sudden, afterwards, let's just say that a giant, that Tiffany Gold was a giant. And he said, there can only be one. There can only be one pretty girl, and that's me. And then all of a sudden, the Tiffany Gold in Josephine's nightmare decided to step on her with a black leathered boot. But unfortunately, Josephine like she wakes up and like, gosh dang it, I can't do this anymore. So she got up out of bed and decided to take a look at her metal booger's nose ring and decided like, enough is enough. So she decided to unwind unwind the one of the ball of the piercing and slowly try to take it out. Get a cotton ball and put it in her nose, even though it stings because, well, no, she had to damp it first. She damped it with water and let the blood die out. Like, make sure. And then fortunately she just like, she takes a look at her, well, she had it in her hand, the metal booger piercing, and she decided like, piercing, you have ruined my life. Matter of fact, you ruined my 3 years in high school. And then she decides to throw it away forever. Meanwhile, in the Hollywood sort of things, Tiffany Gold, let's just say that while she was about to work on her 10th album, she was officially dropped from Columbia based on poor record sales. And of course, her manager said that this had something to do with her image. I mean, she was called out for being a sex symbol instead of the pop icon that she once was. and being a a fraud, a sellout, and all because she was copying Britney Spears, the potential that she had. But afterwards, she was like, she was hurt. She was depressed. So, but that was on the very next day. So, Saturday, Tiffany Gold, she was sitting out on the bench, just got kicked out of the contract of Columbia Records, and her contract was about to expire, even though she had to make one more album, but she was dropped before she ever did. And let's just say that at the same on the same bench, Josephine sat by her. And yet they started talking to each other. They were kind of like the Josephine and the older Josephine. Like, they compared each other like, yeah, they really did compare to each other like they were the younger and the older version of Josephine. And Josephine told Tiffany her problem. Tiffany told Josephine hers. And they decided that they have to find a way to work things out. And Josephine said, I have a confession. I have a complete obsession towards you, as in I'm your biggest fan. And Tiffany, she knew where Josephine was going with it. So Josephine said, like, for you to be called out is kind of like the same thing that happened to me. And Tiffany's like, so what should I do about it? I mean, what did you do? How should I go back? What should I do? Why don't you be the same Tiffany Gold that you once were in back when you was 13? But to make it all happen, you gotta take that nose ring off. I mean, I copied you and I got the same feedback. So Tiffany decided to take Josephine's advice and take off the balls hanging out her nose type ring, the metal boogers piercing, and throw it away for good. She had to clean her nose to stop the bleeding from happening. And all of a sudden, Tiffany and Josephine, they actually started working with each other to make what could have been Tiffany's 10th final album for Columbia Records. But instead, since she was already dropped, the manager realized that for the demo, Tiffany actually wrote some songs that she did when she was 13. And not only that, she actually made 2 albums. And the second album, that was considered to be like a greatest hits album, but it's a 2 CD set, as in the final recordings for Columbia Records, if she was still in there. But then The manager heard it and decided one last time. So after after Tiffany Tiffany's manager reconsidered, the people at Columbia, after they heard the album, they released it. And the manager, Tiffany's manager, still had the contract, and he also gave the demo to the greatest hits album. And after the albums were released, both both were top sellers. Album 10, Tiffany Gold Album 10, went number 1 on the Billboard charts. Number 1 album in the country. And it went 10 million copies when Tiffany was planning to head to college and do what needed to be done after high school. And matter of fact, Josephine actually convinced her to go to college and give me music a break, because after the greatest hits album was released, Tiffany started to grow up. And so she and Josephine, they actually got together. They actually went to college together. So let's just say that they both went to Columbia State University, or was it Columbia University? And actually, they went together, and they graduated together, and they lived normal lives. And all the fans that Tiffany once had, they were surprised when her 10th album is taking her gave the same feeling like the albums that she made when she was 13 through 17. And Josephine, well, after she took her nose ring off, she's starting to feel like she's less pressured, because honestly, in reality, people rather see individuals normally, even if they don't look their best. No tattoos, no body piercings, and of course, for those that like to eat a lot, you got to know when to cut back, like limits. You gotta exercise. You gotta run as fast as you can, as if you're getting chased by um, your exes, or a dog. It's like put yourself in shape. I mean, we got to accept our bodies no matter where we come from, no matter what race, no matter what age. And also, if you're thinking about piercing piercing yourself, like, keep it on the ears. Keep it on the ears. Nowhere else. Now, I got nothing against body piercings. I mean, the body piercing, when it comes to facial body piercings, like the nose, like the stud, like gives you the Tupac look, or the Del the Funky Homo Sapien, like the little moon ring, like But if it's right here, like hanging out your nose, like metal boogers, I I have I have a big concern. Like, why are we doing this? We cannot be beauty killers. I mean, we cannot poison our bodies with ink. I mean, sometimes people on TV, they give bad messages. People in reality, they give bad messages. So Until then, who you trying to impress? Are you trying to impress your body? Are you trying to impress everybody in the world? Matter of fact, the whole world? Or are you trying to impress God, the main person you gotta impress? But until then, just think about it. Let that blend in. What would you do with the body that you have? Would you change it for the better or care less and leave it for the worse? Because honestly, I would keep my body the way it is, clean, pure, even if it means to to put lotion on my skin to keep myself from being dry, like putting Vaseline or chapstick on your lips to keep your lips from being dry. I mean, why are we killing beauty? Because we're letting the devil get the best of us. We're letting peer pressure get the best of us. We're letting the whole world get us on the wrong track. And that's why I am not pleased with why we have to body shame each other. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it doesn't look good, take it off. Or don't get involved. But love the body that you have. Don't do too much. I mean, is that too much to ask? And if you're going to pierce yourself on your body, you got to think again. Think about the consequences. Think about who you're trying to impress. Think about what led you to do it. And if it's a wrong reason, don't get involved. So keep 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 staying your true identity. I never had a body piercing. I never had a tattoo. I never looked like a monster. Because even if we have somebody that decides to rock body piercings or tattoos and you feel like you have something negative to say about that, like, don't say it at all. Just be careful about what you say. Because let the others find out in the hardest way and focus on you. I mean, it's not too much to ask, but we have to keep our bodies in order. We have to keep them clean, we have to keep them pure, and we got to keep them from getting bruised and humiliated, as in keep ourselves from being bullied because of our bodies. That's all we have to ask. I mean, all we have to do. From sundown to sun up, when are we going to get it together? Those questions we have to keep in mind. But like I said earlier, some questions are left unanswered. That's because there's a lot of exposure, there's a lot of hate, and I'm tired of hating. But with all that being said, take good care of your body. Remember, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Everywhere you go, you gotta keep your body in order. If some of y'all wanna get a tattoo, you gotta think first. Because if it's not gonna be a good idea, don't deal with needles. Get a body piercing. Stay away from it. If it's not on the ears, stay away from it. Do not be a beauty killer. And if you are tired of being humiliated for being called fat or chubby, and you decide to look like what your true shape, like the models, or when you're watching people and getting health training, that put you in shape, get involved. Because we all want to lose weight. We all want to look good. We all want to look pure. We all want to look clean. Because without cleanliness, we would not have anything. We would not have a relationship with a nice person, a nice man, a nice woman together. We would not have some good friends if we don't take care of our bodies. There's some things we have to let go. So be careful with your bodies everywhere you go. That's all I'm saying. And with all that being said, if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there will be more in stores. Even if you haven't seen Cold Man's Winter and the last episode, there will be a link to the description bar down below. So feel free to click on the latest videos that I put up. And to end it off, this video, this long-awaited episode of Cold Man's Winter Season 2, episode number 7, has been brought to you by Sweet Lady of the Week. Now, last episode I mentioned 2, but now I'm going back to 1 for this episode. But who could be the first person that comes in mind when you hear the word Sweet Lady? Well, I thought about some individuals, but nothing can be identified sweet Nothing can be identified sweet. Not even without a friend that I can rely on. The one that really is beautiful that I can think of. And the only person that came in mind as a sweet lady, it is none other than Dawn Atkinson. And to Dawn, if you're watching this, just know that I ain't forgot about you. 'Cause as a sweet lady, you need recognition. And that's all I have to say. So with all that being said, this is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out.